Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. Wow, what a brilliant episode of Loki. The fourth episode really did return it back to its excellent high standard and had such awesome moments, true MCU at its best, especially the final 10 minutes, loads of action, emotion, death, and some truly shocking moments, and of course a brilliant post-credit scene as well. I literally cannot wait for the next episode. Now let's get on with the breakdown for the fourth episode of Loki. So the episode starts off with us finding out that Sylvie was actually born a Loki in Asgard, but a female version. A Nexus event then took place which brought in the TVA, who reset the timeline. Now it's not as simple as she was born a girl and they wanted Loki to be a boy, as later on Sylvie asked Judge Renslayer what the event was, but she didn't answer, and instead she did this really evil grin and claimed not to remember. Maybe it's something to do with Thor becoming evil by this Loki, and perhaps the evil Thor would have defeated Kang the Conqueror, and so they wanted to reset this event to prevent that happening. We also got a glimpse of the timekeepers, or the lizards as Loki hilariously calls them, and actually they do look pretty comics accurate. Well, at this point they do. We then see that a Nexus spike took place in the apocalypse where Loki and Sylvia. Maybe Mobius was right and this was caused by two Lokis being there, or maybe it was caused by Loki himself, maybe it was Sylvie, maybe it was the other Loki variants. I'm sure we'll find out in the next few episodes. They're both then captured and Loki is then being interrogated and reveals to Mobius the shocking truth that they're all variants, with their memories being wiped out and then being enslaved to work for the TVA, which I think is a pretty scary reality in terms of kidnapping and then enslavement. So Loki was right, the TVA really are incredibly corrupt. I absolutely loved Owen Wilson's acting here, as you can really see the truth hitting him and sinking in, but then because he's been so brainwashed and it goes against everything that he believes to be true, he wants to just reject it and stay in his delusion, which I just thought was so amazing, as this is unfortunately a really common reaction to when people learn the bombshell truth about something that they didn't really fully understand. I thought Loki's line to Mobius about humans always using each other to get what they want was pretty powerful too. And did anybody else notice Mobius's line about vampires, hello Blade, and hopefully Mobius the vampire as well? It wasn't a massive action scene, but I did really like the interactions between Ravonna Renslayer and Agent Mobius in terms of where would they go if they could go anywhere in the world, as it was really not only showing the deception of the Ravonna character, but it was also a powerful callback to what Mobius is going to say in his final speech later on in this episode. The time loop with Sif beating up Loki was hilarious and traumatic. He even gave up by the end of it, but not before being rescued by Mobius after Mobius worked out that his colleague was pruned when he discovered the truth about the TVA. In terms of the time leap, I thought it felt very Doctor Strange, Dormammu, I've come to bargain, which really did hark back to Doctor Strange, which I think everything is always harking back to Doctor Strange, which I think is amazing. Mobius then rescues Loki, and while he's now giving his emotional speech about where he'd go if he could go anywhere in the world, he would go back home to a time where he's really happy. He tragically then gets pruned himself, and you can really see the emotion in Loki at this stage. I just thought this was absolutely incredible acting from Tom Hiddleston, and I hope he does come back in the next few episodes or the next season, as Owen Wilson is so brilliant as the Mobius character. We then have the best moment of all, which is where Loki and Sylvie are reuniting and confronting the TVA and the three timekeepers themselves, and then we have Hunter B-15 rescuing them, which I thought was such a kick-ass moment when she just removed all of their inhibitor collars, which by the way felt super X-Men. Those collars are exactly what we've seen in The Gifted and in the X-Men comics and TV series as well, which I think is absolutely amazing, that this is somewhat hinting to what potential future we can see with mutants. And then when B-15 was learning the truth about her past and the true corruption and the propaganda of the TVA by the Sylvie character earlier on in this episode, I thought those scenes were absolutely brilliant as well. And how she's totally flipping 180 to now being actually on the Loki variant side, which is something we would never have thought would have happened in the earlier on parts of this series. I'm not sure exactly where she went. It looked as if she was still on the floor after she got hit, but it didn't seem as if she got pruned and deleted. Then we see that the timekeepers are nothing more than AI robots, which really harked back to Marvel changing up their source material. We're looking at you, fake Mandarin Ben Kingsley. Then tragically, as Loki is admitting his love for the Sylvie character, Ravonna Renslayer then prunes Loki, and after a mini confrontation, Sylvie has the option to prune Judge Renslayer herself, but tells her to finally admit the truth about what on earth is going on at the TVA, which hopefully we'll learn in the next episode. I did like Mobius's line about how narcissistic the Loki character is, that the only person that he is capable of falling in love with is himself, or a version of himself, which I thought was absolutely amazing. And then of course we have the brilliant post-credit scene where we see that Loki has woken up somewhere with other Loki variants, including Kid Loki and Alligator Loki, and now we finally know that the character that Richard E. Grant is going to be playing is another Loki variant. So I wonder if the big plan all along has been for the TVA and the timekeepers to find Lokis and to delete them and to prune them, because maybe they are all going to be contributing to the defeat of Kang the Conqueror and setting up the multiverse of madness, along with all of the events that Wanda's doing. So hopefully they'll all reunite. Maybe they'll reunite with Sylvie as well, and we can find out the truth about what's happening with the timekeepers, and most certainly Kang the Conqueror is going to be revealed as the person behind everything. Literally cannot wait to see what's going to happen in the next episode. What did you think of episode 4? Do you agree that it's the best one yet? Do you really think it's Kang and Ravonna behind everything? What do you think their real plan is? Let's continue the conversation in the comment section below, or you can head over to Twitter or Instagram. Our handle is Lifestyle Critic, where we can talk all things Loki. But until next week, I cannot wait to see you in another video. Bye everyone.